How to teach a Kegel. It's really tricky. A lot of women who are taught by verbal cue do it suboptimally. So I'm going to do my best. A lot of you have already gone to see a pelvic floor therapist, so this could be a good reminder about how to do it. So here we go, and let's give it our best shot. Sitting back into a chair, because this way we can sometimes feel the pelvic floor on the surface of the chair. We're going to do the diaphragm breath that I showed you in a different video, because that way it sets the pelvic floor, because the diaphragm and the pelvic floor work together. So we're going to inhale through our nose, and we're going to exhale out of our mouth, and just do a couple of those to sort of set the intention and make sure that we're in a relaxed position before trying to do a Kegel. Now, a Kegel is where you contract the urethra, the vagina, and the anus, so the sphincters of the pelvic floor. And there are many muscles in the pelvic floor. But what we want to do is really get away from trying to do a Kegel with our belly or potentially with our glutes, and definitely not as a rock back. We want to stay fairly still. I teach people to make sure that they can feel their perineum, so they can feel their vagina on the surface of the chair, and that way you have a little bit of feedback to see whether you can feel the tightening and the lift as you close those sphincters. So yes, a lot of the time people will be taught close the anus or close the urethra, so you have to pee. Also, you want to think about it as though the sits bones are coming together, you're pulling in that tissue, because the tissue looks like a little bit like a basket. So as you Kegel and contract the pelvic floor, it lifts the fibers of the basket up and supports your organs. So you close those sphincters, and it lifts slightly, because that's the way the fibers of the muscles are situated. So you're going to do this again with a breath. So we're going to inhale. You exhale to relax your stomach, because we don't want a tight stomach when we're doing a Kegel. Just pause, and now try and close those sphincters and then let them go. Oftentimes we have a hard time letting the pelvic floor contraction actually go, and that's where the breath really helps out. So we're going to try it again. We're going to inhale through the nose. This time you're going to exhale, relax your tummy, relax your chest. Now pause. Close the sphincters, then let go of the contraction and breathe in. So inhale again. We exhale. Close the sphincters and then release. One more time, we're going to breathe in through the nose. Feel that lovely expansion of the chest. Exhale all the tension away, but keeping upright. Close those sphincters and then release. Now, ideally, when we're doing a core breath, because the diaphragm, as the diaphragm descends, as you exhale, the sides descend and then the apex of the diaphragm goes up, we get a bit of a force going down into the pelvic floor. So the pelvic floor wants to contract, and that's how it does it day to day. So we're going to add a voluntary contraction onto that natural process. And it's a little bit different than what we just did before. The same breath and the same Kegel, but this time we're going to merge them differently. So halfway through your exhale, you're going to start contracting your pelvic floor, but continue exhaling the breath out until you finish your exhale. Then let go of your Kegel, and then repeat, breathing in. You start your exhale about halfway through. You gently close the sphincters. Don't try and too hard, because you'll cut off your breath. And then hold that Kegel as you continue exhaling. Release it and breathe in. So if this is my Kegel, you're going to contract with me, okay? So we're going to breathe in through the nose, inhaling. We're going to exhale out of the mouth like a sigh to get rid of all the tension. Now start Kegeling, keep exhaling and Kegel, keep exhaling and Kegel, keep exhaling, exhaling, keep on Kegeling. No more breath left. Release your Kegel and breathe in. Exhaling, Kegeling and Kegeling and Kegeling and Kegeling. Keep breathing out. Don't forget to breathe out. Kegel, Kegel, Kegel. Now, no more breath left, so let go of your Kegel and breathe in. Now, on the next two, we really want to check in with ourselves that we haven't lost the Kegel as we're exhaling. So we're going to take that little pause when we have no more breath left at the end of our exhale and make sure when we let go of the Kegel, there's something to actually let go. Okay? Because sometimes as we're exhaling, we just lose the Kegel. Okay? And it just disappears. So we want to make sure when we are finished that exhale, you just take that 1 second to feel the pelvic floor release, because that way you'll have so much better control of both your contract and your release. Okay, let's try a couple of times. So we're going to breathe in. We're going to exhale, Kegeling now, closing those sphincters. Again, the tummy stays relaxed, our rib cage is descending. There's your Kegel. Now, no more breath left. Make sure you relax. Did you feel it relax? Now, breathe in again. Inhale, expansion, exhaling. Start your Kegel and keep breathing out. Kegeling and breathing out, and Kegeling and breathing out, and Kegeling and breathing out. Pause your breath, no more breath left. Let go of your Kegel. Did you feel it release? I hope so. Okay, so that's how you do a Kegel with breath. Sometimes I'll teach, do the breath first, get yourself kind of warmed up, then add your Kegel at the very end of your exhale, but then try and merge the two together, because you'll get a better Kegel, a more functional Kegel, and something that really works with how our body wants to do it anyway. Now, if you want to check to see whether you're doing a Kegel, if you have not been to a pelvic floor therapist, what you can do is just gently insert 1 or 2 fingers, clean fingers, into your vagina and see whether you can feel the closing of the vagina on your fingers. If you feel a downward force on your fingers, like your fingers are pushing out of your vagina, then you're doing it incorrectly. You're adding too much abdominal effort. There really shouldn't be a lot of abdominal effort. If you use your abdominals, so you're Kegeling like and pulling in with your belly really strongly, what happens is it pushes the bladder downwards, and you could actually create more of a push out versus a drawing in. It's a very, very subtle thing, and most people don't realize how subtle the pelvic floor contraction is. You may feel a little bit of a tightening just above your pubic bone across your hip bones. That's natural, that's normal. That's your transversus abdominis contracting also with the Kegel, but we'll talk about that on another video. So I hope this helps. Keep practicing and have fun with this. Okay, thank you.